Welcome, friends, to episode 342 of Color of Magic, your Magic Gaming podcast where we talk about all types of issues that affect gamers at and away from their gaming tables and computers. I am your host, PowrDragn, and for 342 episodes, still got my main man, Brian Sonic. How's it going, man?
Going pretty well as we get through the Ides of August here and kind of
the Ides of August.
Putting our gaming calendar together for the rest of the fall / winter.
Yeah, there's some releases coming. We're past kind of
Spirit Halloween apparently is already open. Like it's just, I guess if Christmas is going to start at Halloween, then yeah, Halloween's got to start now, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, yeah, and we're past convention season for gamers on top of it, so it's just now we're just waiting for all the stuff to come out that we saw during the summer. Yeah, man, before we get into all this, I want to remind everybody just a quick little bit of business. If you haven't, please show us a little bit of love over at Patreon. You go to patreon.com/colorofmagic and you support your boys directly. You can also get a shout out just like Arthur Mann. So thank you, Arthur, for being a patron. But also, you can check out our friends over at ManaPool.com because they're a great site to buy cards. They got like 35 million cards. They have one of the best optimizers in the business to help you find the cheapest cards for the fewest packages, because that's always a headache when you try to order from a bunch of different vendors at one time. So yeah, go check them out. They're really good people and a really great site. So go, it's over at manapool.com. But all right, dude, let's talk about a very interesting thing that is coming to Arena that we probably should have had already. You know, technically we had it, but players didn't know we had it. And that's that they're going to have in-game reporting for players coming to Arena, which you would think this is a generally positive thing, but some people are like, well, why do we need to report players? Why is it a big deal? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's a few reasons, man. Like, when I see somebody's username that's, how do I put it without getting explicit? Because I had to report... It definitely was racist, but I'm trying to put out the name that he had without saying it. But it was big blank. Like you can fill in those big. Yeah. It was that, but they moved the first letter of each word so it didn't get caught by the system. So we'll say big Negro blank, and you can fill that in.
Racist and sexual. Okay, so
yeah. But they move the D, the N, and the B around. So
2 red flags. Okay.
Yeah, like that stuff needs to be reported, right? Like you're purposely trying to obfuscate the rules and get around the system. So like, yeah, you should be reported for that, right? So like, and admittedly, before you used to have to click the I don't know what you call it, the gear, right? And there's an option at the bottom that reports a bug. It takes you to the page. And then of the drop downs there, one of them was player behavior or player username, something like that. And then you share your logs and do all the stuff. Now there'll just be a button directly that does it. There's just report a player, and then you go to the page. And the site actually, to Wizards' credit, is pretty clear about what they're looking for. So it'll have a report a player option that'll appear next to report a bug. So you go ahead and do that. Then when you're submitting the report, it'll have 5 options, either for inactivity. So if the player basically is just roping constantly and just like dragging the game out or whatever, there'll be one for hate speech, which this was the concerning one for me. That hate speech in there is partially makes me feel like they're going to try to add dialogue or text messaging of some type to Arena. Now, it might also just be future proofing, right? If we get a new version of Arena, maybe it'll have actual chat or something, but that's there. Then inappropriate username. Also verbal abuse for harassment or harmful language. Again,
that absolutely sounds like we're about to get some kind of chat feature.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like between those two, it's like...
I thought you were like, okay, the hate speech in terms of inappropriate username, but that's a separate category. Then no, it looks like we might be able to...
Exactly. And then there's one for spamming, which is advertising, phishing, solicitation, or repetition. The only thing I could figure that one is maybe if they end up in your friends list or something and chatting that way and they're just spamming you or something, then you can report them. Because I mean, somebody could get a bot, I guess, send a friend request, and then so that one kind of makes sense. But yeah, this sounds like they're at least trying to clean things up. Right. And for the first time, another thing they mentioned, because we normally don't get this part, it actually has a couple of paragraphs on how we handle reports. It says behind the scenes, we partner with GGWP, which is a moderating platform, and they'll help us organize and route the reports we get. So first they'll get them, then they'll put context around them, whatever, and then send them for review through a queue. No reports or actions will be automatic on anything. Everything will be evaluated and the actions will be done by a person. So they're not just going to send it through a system. It says as we get more comfortable with the tool and as our social features grow, which again sounds like we're going to be adding some stuff, we'll continue to work closely with GGWP and our customer service team to investigate where automation might make sense down the road. And, we'll require a closer look with our teams, all that stuff. But it says just another foundational step towards bringing more of the gathering to MTG Arena. We look forward to your feedback. And this was supposed to launch on August 18th. But I think when I checked earlier, I didn't have it on my account yet. So it might still be rolling out. But yeah, man, I don't know. I've seen where I've even been on a stream and even in a video, actually, where I've mentioned, yeah, if y'all want to report people like this, just do this, go here, whatever. And people in the comments in the chat will just be like, oh, so you're just going to narc to wizards that somebody's doing a thing? I'm like, yeah, if you're out here just making the game unpleasant for a lot of
If
people.
you got a racist username, absolutely. Not just in Magic. I do that every time I see one.
Oh, for real. Now, admittedly, I've said it before on here. The reason I quit playing League of Legends is literally after almost every other game, I was reporting somebody for something. So I don't care to have, for sure, not voice chat in my games. And I almost don't even want text chat in most of my games. We'll see if it comes to Arena or not, if we want. You know what I want in Arena? I want a text log of actions in gameplay to make it easier to remember what somebody did a couple turns ago.
That would be cool.
Yeah. And I did find there's somebody working on a third-party app for that you'll be able to add, which is kind of cool. But that's the only thing I really want. I don't need a chat conversation with people. Most of the time, if I were to have chat, the thing I would mostly want to know is just like when I see 3 or 4 cool cards in their deck, I'm like, hey, man, do you have the rest of your deck list? Your deck looks sweet. That's the only time I'd want to talk to somebody. I mean, I had somebody just the other day leave a comment of like, hey, it's rude if somebody says hello and you don't say hello back. I actually don't, because I've actually had times where as soon as I've done that and they realize they're not muted, they just start spamming stuff or whatever during the guy. And I don't even want to bother. So I'm just like, yeah, I just don't bother in most of my games. And I told them, like, I don't chat in most of the games I play unless I'm chatting with people on my team. They're usually friends I'm playing the game with. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not interested. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think this is all around positive. So I don't know. What's your perspective on this?
Yeah, like I also report people for having crazy names and things like that. So yeah, this is I'm absolutely happy about this. Keep it going, and I mean I welcome the chat that it sounds like we're about to get.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? That there's at least 3 items that make it sound like, hey, there might be more chat features coming. And as the scuttlebutt goes, they have been working on a new, or not necessarily a new version. They've been working on bringing Commander to Arena. That is definitely a thing that they want to do. They've mentioned it multiple times. They've mentioned it's in the pipeline. I've talked with people at Wizards that are working on a thing. They couldn't give me any specifics, but there is a thing in the works. I don't know how far it's developed or not, but it might also be a thing that, hey, if we bring Commander in, we might need people to be able to chat to make this work.
Absolutely, there's a whole lot of stuff you would need to, politics, table talk that needs to happen.
Exactly. So I'm wondering if that's part of it, of just like, hey, we know the thing we're about to unleash, whether that's 4 months from now or a year from now or whatever, we need to go ahead and put stuff in place so we can get ahead of it, right? And that might be what this is too, but we'll see. I don't know. But you know what? Let me get in the soapbox real quick, because there's one thing I kind of want to close the loop on. And there's been a lot going around about the Magic Ambassador program over the last couple of weeks. And I think it's a much more nuanced conversation than people want to have. And we've even mentioned it on the show briefly. But I think, first off, let me say there are a lot of misconceptions I'm seeing of all different varieties going on out there about the ambassador program. At its core is basically Wizards saying, hey, we're going to send you 1 unit of everything for this set in exchange for you producing some type of content that helps promote this set. That's kind of it in a nutshell. You have some dates that are embargoed or whatever that you can't show stuff or whatever. But outside of that, that's kind of what it is. It's not you have to make this type of thing. It's not that you have to say these certain words. It's not that you, whatever, right? It's, they're not going to send you products to just disparage the company and the set or whatever, obviously. But outside of that, it's pretty lax, free rules, free form. The other thing is people getting upset that Wizards is sending product to people. You're just going to have to be upset. That's literally like the basic thing for 99% of all the, whatever you want to call them, ambassador programs, champion programs, whatever, right? They send you some amount of products and or cash to promote the thing. That's just how it works. It was that way before social media. It's going to be that way for the foreseeable future, right? That's just how companies work. We send you things, you say good things about the thing or encourage people to buy the thing. FCC says we all have to mark these as advertise, sponsors, ad, whatever, so people know that it's a thing. We see that, we can make up our own decisions on how we feel about the piece of content that person made. Usually, if you know the person, you'll know if they're being authentic or not. If not, you take it with a grain of salt because you know it's a promotional piece. It's kind of that simple. But I do feel like there are 2 things in play. The first is that, and again, I want to be very clear that I'm not saying we should stop working with small creators. I think small creators should keep getting opportunities, and it's cool that Wizards is allowing. I would say on a case-by-case basis, Wizards is probably allowing more small creators than most other games do, honestly, which is very cool. So we should keep doing that. But with that, we also have to understand a lot of smaller and beginning creators haven't really found their way yet. They haven't found their voice yet. And this is a sad thing. I'm going to be honest here. A lot of creators are not creative. And that leads to the other problem that the program probably just needs a little more direction, right? Give people some ideas of some things they could do that they may not be aware of. Because if as a creator, your thing is, I got all this product, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a video and show, hey, Wizard sent me all this stuff. And then the next thing I do is a video of me opening all this stuff. It's like, that's just not going to play well with your audience, especially in a time where people are upset because they can't afford a collector's booster box or their favorite commander deck or whatever it is, right? Between economy and money being tight and prices going up and universe beyond tax and whatever, those are problems for people. So you're not doing yourself or the game any favors by doing product openings, right? I think on some level, even if it's just like Wizards saying, hey, you could do this thing to help us promote these dates for pre-release and the store championships and whatever related to this. We already have some cards we previewed at MagicCon. The first 20 or 30 cards of the set, do some content around those if you want to, right? Because you don't even have to wait for stuff to be spoiled or whatever. Those are already out there. You could do that, right? There's a bunch of things. You could just do something about your love of that set or that topic or that product if it's Universes Beyond, right? That IP or whatever. Like that would be fine, right? And then just remind people the set releases on this day or whatever it is. There's a bunch of different content you can do that doesn't cost a lot, that doesn't take a lot of expertise, but I also think a lot of people just don't think about it. Because I've been in the ambassador program a few times, and I've done a whole variety of things that were very low cost that were effective. And I'm not super creative, I don't think. I'm not rolling in dough, so it's not like I have a heavy budget. I don't have a bunch of editors behind me, right? So there's things people can do. but I just don't think they're aware of what's possible or how to do it or whatever. So I think that would help those creators out. Now, the other part of the argument also is that there are also some creators that are larger that don't know how to read the room. When they're coming out and basically just flaunting that they got the most expensive cards, or that they're hoping the things they have go up in value because they're getting them graded or this, that, and the other. Like, I guess if that's your brand, that's your brand. But I don't think Wizards should be working with those people because it's not bringing anything positive to the community. Cool if that works for their content. Nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of content that I think works for a lot of different companies or a lot of different creators that aren't necessarily good for the
getting your
companies.
cards graded is part of collecting cards. So
Sure. And again, that may be great for your content, which I think it is for some people. But I don't think, again, being aware of the social impact of your content, I don't think that does anything to help promote the set, which is what the ambassadors' jobs are.
But literally, some people are only buying the cards to flip the cards. That's the reality of it.
Sure.
Some people are excited about the set because they want to try to pull the One Ring. So those...
I agree with that. But I don't think those people are going to be swayed by somebody opening a thing. Right? Because you're just going to buy a product because you're chasing the One Ring or whatever.
Well, at this point, is anybody swayed by content? If you hate Universes Beyond before, you're going to watch the stream and like, oh, wait, now I like it? No. When's the last time the content swayed anyone?
I don't know if I would say outright. Maybe swayed is a bad word to use there, but I do think there are things that you could open people's eyes on, right? When it's cool card combos or backstory on things or whatever, right? I think that does more to promote the set, the brand, and the company than just opening a product does. Because then we're just looking at cards, right? And did we get expensive cards or not, right? That's kind of what it comes down to. So I just don't think pack opening does much. I mean, there are people who like that, and there are some people whose brands are based around that. And again, I'm not saying don't make that content. I just don't think as a promotional tool, it does anything, right? It works when you're doing let's say new keyboard type thing, right? Because you're taking an item people haven't seen, they don't know what it is or how fast it works. So you're opening up, you're showing the box opening experience, you're plugging it in, you're doing some demos with it, whatever, right? So it's kind of a product specific thing. But I do think the key issues are we've got to have a little more direction for some of those people. And we have to be more discerning on who's an ambassador. I'm not saying that necessarily is large or small, because there's some large creators that probably don't need to be ambassadors. But really, I think the hate coming at the majority of the creators that are ambassadors, I think that's a little misdirected. They were excited. Some people really are fans of Avatar and Final Fantasy and whatever, right? Ninja Turtles or whatever. And they were excited to get to show off stuff and get to be part of the thing to promote it. Like, I'm not going to be mad at them. They just were excited to be part of a program. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it when I've done it. I haven't had people really complain about my content, but the only box openings I really do are usually stuff that's like behind me that I've had for a few years. And it's just like, hey, this is a 5-year-old box. Let's open it and see what's up or whatever. I don't do anything really around new product openings. Because again, even from having my shop, I just know there's not a lot of value in that. They're just not. But anyway, that's probably the last I'm going to say about it. Just, hey, ambassador programs are always going to exist. It's just a part of life. I get it if you don't want to follow some creators or whatever, that's your prerogative. And I have one thing I do want to add. That if you are a creator looking to join any promotional program, like I said, Champions program, Ambassador program, whatever the companies want to call it, understand that doesn't automatically draw you views. I have seen a few creators that thought, oh, I'm going to do this really fun thing for this project, and it's going to be awesome for my brand or whatever. And it's just like, no, everybody understands that it's a promotional video. That's not going to play any different than your other stuff does. You don't magically get to be thrown on the map and get shoved in front of a bunch of people and this, that, and the other because you did this thing. That's just not how it works. Like, each of these companies are generally inviting you because of the work you've already done and what you're able to do within that space, whatever your reach is, and that's that. And then when it's over, you get your compensation, whether it's product or whatever you've agreed on or whatever with the company, and that's kind of it. I don't know anybody who's really blown up because they got to preview a card or got to do this product opening or whatever. That's just not a thing. It just doesn't exist. But all right, dude, that's it. Let's move on. You've got something that's a little bit more direct than that anyway.
Yeah, the cheater's gonna cheat, and in Marvel Rivals, they apparently figured out some way to actually use the cheating detection system to cancel games without losing rank. Like what kind of human being does this? I mean, are you having fun? Do you think you're clearly not good at the game? You're good at cheating. I mean, I just don't. I guess there are always going to be people who try to get some kind of advantage for just whatever reason it is. And some people I will say that I've encountered because I've run into them, I've written about it. Some of these people actually do sadly feel like they are enjoying ruining your game. The guy I went against in baseball was proud that he I got no place to be tomorrow. I can sit here and wait and glitch this till 6 or 7 a.m. Like, oh my God, this is your life, huh? This is what you're proud. This is what you do.
Bro, I'd be petty as hell. I'm just staying up tonight.
I mean, I did, and I wrote a story about it, but still, there's just so many. I'm always just befuddled at how many people there are that get kicks out of breaking the system and
though,
cheating and hacking and doing just all the. It's a video game, bruh.
I feel like back when I was playing Madden more competitively in, God, 2014, around that time, maybe 2013, there was a thing that happened for the first like month when people figured out where you could, if you left a game, I think before the fourth quarter started or something, it didn't count as a loss against you or something. So there were people that like, oh, if they were down more than 10 points, they just drop and whatever. And EA corrected that quickly, once they realized people were exploiting it. But it's a thing people are always going to do. If there's a loophole, they're going to find a way to use it. If you're playing poker, people are going to try to angle shoot whatever they can to get an edge, right? There's always those people that exist. But yeah, I mean, do you know how far spread this was in Marvel Rivals?
It doesn't mention specific numbers, but I mean enough for people to be writing about it. So clearly, I'm going to say a few thousand people.
God, it could be a lot. There's a bunch of people that play Marvel Rivals still, right. So who knows how big of a problem that is. Glad they caught him though. I mean, hopefully they get some punishment because I will say Marvel Rivals seems like if they catch you being just like a bad member of the community, they will drop the hammer.
Right. So hopefully they get this figured out soon. And I mean, I know the hackers will come up with some other dumb thing. It's just that constant battle of, okay, we figure out something illegal. How long can we exploit it?
Yeah. That's why I always tell people, like, it was kind of like when I had my shop. I used to tell employees and stuff like, don't feel bad that somebody was shoplifting during your shift, right? Bad people are going to do bad people things. And they're doing whatever they can to manipulate or use whatever trust that they have to pull off whatever it is they need to do. You get better at catching them. You put things in place. Like, it's just the way it is. But like, yeah, I expect bad people to do bad things. And same thing when I'm gaming. Like, the only thing, and we talked about this off the air, was it is funny to watch people call some things a cheat that there's really no way to do that at all. But then other things that should be suspicious, they're just like, but that player's just really good. So it's cool that the people in charge are at least discerning that and figuring that out. But yeah, man, it feels like you always have like the most interesting Marvel rival stories too. So if you don't
Yeah,
play,
that's
okay,
I guess that's the downside of having a really popular shooter is when you get popular, hey, you're gonna get all the crazy people, the hackers, the folks that make fun of you for trying to win a tournament and going to college. Just all
yeah,
the
yeah.
ridiculous things.
I mean, what's it say? Like, if you don't have any haters, you're not trying hard enough.
Right.
that's that's sort of what it feels like with
Marvel
games, right?
Rivals definitely got a whole bunch of haters.
Yeah, we say that all the time, right? If you don't have people complaining about your thing, you don't have people trying to cheat it, you don't have this, like you're just not popular enough, like because nobody cares, right? But all right, let's talk about some other fun stuff, like what we learned this week, because I think we have two very interesting topics to cover here. And this one I'm pretty excited about, like, because this reminded me of some things I forgot about. So I found this article from Polygon, which looks like it went up. I guess it went up early this morning, but there were 10 canceled games we're still upset about years later. And I was like, I wonder what they have on the list. The first one was StarCraft Ghost. And I went, yeah, yeah. Because like I was kind of looking forward to that too. And I hadn't even played StarCraft that much at that point. But I was like, oh, this sounds cool. It's like a StarCraft shooter type thing. Like this could be kind of fun.
Right.
And then never happened. Just crazy. It was announced in 2002, put on hold in 2006, and then never came out after that. Dead Space 4, which I never knew was even in development. So that was kind of a surprise to me. Oh, Fable Legends. That one was the other one that got me on this list. Because I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember hearing about that. I don't even know what happened to that game. Apparently, in 2013, they revealed it at a convention. 2016, it was canceled. And it was supposed to be like a Fable RPG style game.
It's multiplayer, so I'm not. I guess there wanted to be like Diablo, I guess.
I don't know. Like, but I was like, cool, a game set in the Fable universe that I can play with multiple people. Like, sure. Random one, California Raisins, The Grape Escape. I was like, what? This was actually going to be a game? Like, here's the thing, too. If y'all are young, I'm assuming if you're under the age of probably 25 listening to this, you may not have ever seen the California Raisins. They were, I guess they started out as being a promotional vehicle for some things and then ended up getting a cartoon and then just became this whole like weird zeitgeist kind of thing that everybody knew about that would just show up on things. So the fact that they were gonna have a game isn't the craziest thing to me, just
Yeah, I
kind of
mean, if
surprising.
the cool spot from the 7 Up ads got a video game, just the 90s, everything got a video. There was a Yo Noid game. None of these
Yep.
games should have existed, but they did. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
they
a
were all
single one.
trash.
Yeah, I don't think a single one of these games was good, but they happened.
Yeah, crazy. Honestly, if you if you don't know about the California Raisins, when you're done watching or listening to this, go do a search, and you're literally going to be like, "How were these ever popular?" Like, you because even as somebody who lived through it, I barely understand it. So, like,
Well, I mean,
I
it was
get
a
it.
huge leap in claymation for the time period. It looks like it doesn't look like a big deal now, but back then that was groundbreaking claymation.
It was. It was. Other games on the list: Star Wars Battlefront 3. Didn't even know that one was being developed either. Doesn't surprise me because the other two were decent, but yeah, kind of surprised. That one said in 2016. It had a prototype that got leaked, and then some stuff materialized in like 2024, but that was it. Like nothing ever came of that game. One called Scalebound that everybody I had to go do some searching on this one. Apparently, this was a game people were hyped about that just never came out. I didn't know anything about this, but apparently
I
this was like,
remember seeing it, but yeah, then it just every year there's at least a couple of games that come out at E3 and now Summer Game Fest that you get way hyped about, then they just kind of vanish into the ether. And of course, you don't give nearly as much hype when you announce that you're not, or sometimes you don't announce it just never comes out.
yeah, people were apparently big on this. Like, I didn't know anything about this, so I was kind of surprised that that one was.
Yeah, because the team worked on Bayonetta, so yeah, people were
Oh,
excited.
nice. Yeah. Star Wars 1313. That was another one I'd heard something about once or twice. It does say that they had more than $4 billion invested to buy the company with all the stuff that was going on between LucasArts and Disney and this, that, and the other. And they kind of got lost in the process of all that. So that kind of makes sense. Another one called Sleeping Dogs 2, which I was not familiar with.
And oh my God, First Sleeping Dog was so good. If you can find that anywhere, I'm not. I want to say I think it's like on. I think it's X3 360 PlayStation 4. I believe I still have it on the Xbox backward compatible. But yeah, that game was. If
Okay.
you want to play, we're talking about. I think it was on the Patreon show. We were talking about open world games in the vein of Grand Theft Auto. If you ever wanted to play through like a John Woo movie, this was that.
Nice. Yeah, good shout out, by the way. If you're not a patron, we've been posting some long conversation about all kinds of stuff over there that y'all are missing out if you're not. And if you are a patron, go listen to those episodes when you have some downtime. It's like bonus footage. Other couple of games, Silent Hills, plural. Again, didn't know this was a thing, but there was apparently a PlayStation 4 demo of it at some point. And that was it. So I guess that was like 2014. There was like a little playable teaser game thing on a demo, and then just nothing happened. Which is weird because pretty much anything Silent Hill does well. So I don't know why this would have been canceled. It doesn't really say. And then one I did know about that I was just talking about, Mega Man Legends 3. Yeah, I remember way back when in 2010 when this was talked about and everybody's excited about it, and then just didn't go anywhere, which was kind of sad because again, all the Mega Man stuff was popular, all of it sold well.
Yeah.
So
I think they just went back to the traditional, hey, Mega Man fights a bunch of robots that steals their stuff.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, if it works, it works. You know, it's one of those things where we talk about it sucks sometimes when theaters rehash trends or we see the same type of games coming out, but if people keep buying them, I can't fault, studios for doing the thing.
How many times, bro, we get to revive Cats till they stop watching it?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to keep watching Vin Diesel and his family do dumb stuff with cars till they quit making like, $800 million or whatever.
There could be wheelchairs. The power of family.
Yep. I mean, hell, now we're stopping helicopters and planning to go to space or something. I don't know what we're doing with those things anymore, but
yeah, they started out just okay, street racers. Yeah, that's cool, and then each one became more and more of a cartoon until space.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If people are going to buy tickets, I can't fault them.
Right?
But all right, man, that's all I got for that. You had one about Star Trek, so what's going on there?
Yeah, as we talked about for the first time, I feel like in our lifetime, there are no new Star Trek shows or movies or anything like that in the pipeline. So one of the ways fans are getting fed is the Star Trek novels, and I guess kind of what's bad for the TV and the movies is good for books because hey, now the writer didn't have to worry about stepping on anything because there is nothing currently in development. You can kind of just go wild and tell your Star Trek story. And there's a book. It's being billed as a Star Trek Picard book based on that TV show that kind of picks up where Next Generation left off. But actually, there's a lot of characters in here. Wesley Crusher returns. If anybody is a fan, I'm sure know he became some kind of traveler, omnipotent creature that moved on. So yeah, he's back. Several other Beverly Crusher is in it also. So that's going to be an interesting book. 7 and 9 makes an appearance. It definitely picks up on a lot of popular characters that you really aren't going to kind of get to see an adventure in any other way, I guess, other than obviously the Magic card set that's coming, and then there's a digital card game that's coming also to Steam because if they can't figure out how to make TV shows, they can certainly figure out how to make video games and card games, and they're greenlighting every one of those they can find. But yeah, that was called again Star Trek Picard to Defy Fate. It looks like it's out now. I'm seeing a bunch of reviews out for it, so something you might want to pick up if you're into Star Trek Next Generation era.
Yeah, I guess this is the time for the writers to get to write all the new canon.
Yeah, and maybe if something is really good, maybe that's a pitch for the next TV show or movie.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be interesting to see how that stuff plays out. I think it's pretty cool though for the writers. It's got to be an exciting time that like, especially because most of the writers I'm sure grew up being fans or whatever. So you're getting to carry the legacy for the time being, right? Like what you write are what the fans get to consume. And I don't know, maybe that's a big burden too, right? Like maybe it's just like,
Oh yeah,
oh, like if I screw this up,
right.
I'm now messing up the lineage of the series, you know?
These could be the last words written about some of these characters, especially the Traveler.
Yeah, that's true,
Probably the
right? If
character
it
will
doesn't go
appear in
well.
every novel, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah. So kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out for everybody. But all right, let's get into a couple of quick topics here. So, two things YouTube's doing right now, and this is mostly to people who are aspiring to be creators. But one is that February 1st, I believe they're going to be updating their requirements to get ad revenue. And the important thing to note is there's a threshold, I believe, at 3,000 subscribers and or 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours that you can get access to their first level of monetization, which lets you sell merchandise. You can get super chats and super thanks, which is like bits if you watch Twitch or participate in that economy, right? You can do all that, but you don't get revenue from ads appearing on your stuff. That happens when you get to 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. However, that number is about to go up to 8,000 watch hours, which could seem like a really high bar for some people. Now, you can still mitigate that by streaming and doing other things, but just something to put out there for people who aren't sure or you've been thinking about it. Now, if you already are a creator, an interesting thing is they're going to be moving long form views from being just, as they're tracked now, somebody watches it for at least 30 seconds or whatever, it goes to be a paid watch, engaged view, as they call it. But now it's just going to be pretty much anytime anybody interacts with it is going to be a view. So those times where somebody's scrolling and it starts to autoplay, or you're on your desktop and you hover over it and it, you can hover and see the first couple of seconds or whatever before you click on it. That's going to also count as a view. It won't be paid. It won't be an engaged view. Only the engaged views are going to count. Realistically, I don't think it changes the numbers that much for creators because they did this similarly for shorts views 2 years ago, I think. And the only thing I really saw is like the numbers were kind of inflated as a difference, but you still get paid for engaged views. But on shorts, it's a little different because technically you have to see a thing when you swipe, even if you swipe away. I think for most long form views, you might see a 20% difference in numbers because usually you're hovering over a thing when you're thinking about clicking it anyway. So we'll see how it goes. The weird thing is, I don't think it changes anything for creators. It's not going to change how much money you make or whatever. I don't really know the benefit of it other than,
Yeah, as soon as I read it, I'm like, I don't, I don't
yeah,
understand how this is supposed to. I don't understand how it affects me, let alone how it helps or hurts me.
that's the thing.
Don't know what.
I can't see anything discernible. Again, comparing it to what we saw with shorts, there was virtually no difference. I don't think it's going to matter. The only thing I could think of is if for some reason I was curious or needed to know the total number of people my thing appeared in front of.
They said that in theory you get more views off of that. I'm like, but if I don't get paid for them,
Yeah, it doesn't do
I
anything.
don't. Again,
Because to
I
me, I
was
tell every
confused.
creator, if you're being honest and you're doing it for a living, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So I don't care if somebody saw it if it wasn't a paid view. Right? Those are the only numbers we need to be paying attention. Did our packaging entice somebody enough to click on a thing? If it didn't, then it's not beneficial to us. Right? Because you can already see how many people swiped away or didn't click on your thing or whatever, right? That's already a number that's in there. So I don't really know what this does. Maybe it's meaningful to advertisers, maybe it's meaningful to YouTube. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if it matters because YouTube already has that number. They're just sharing it with us. So I don't know. I haven't found anybody who seems to care about it, but it doesn't really hurt anything either. It'd just be another stat that's on your things. Fun thing that showed up on MTG Arena this week. there was a Hobbit riddle chase game. I don't know what you call it, but there was a cool promo. So everybody had this notification pop up in their messages on Arena. And you're like, okay. And it just has a riddle. And you're like, wonder what this is about. And it tells you, put your answer in the shop where you would normally put a code. So, not to spoil it, because people may want to do it, but I went over there, you put in the first thing, and then another riddle pops up in your email box. So you click that one, and you do the same thing, and then a third, and then a fourth, until you get 8 of them completed. It was like, dang, what is this thing? Well, then there's a whole other step, because as you complete the riddles, you're getting these card styles added to your account. Well, if you make a deck with just those 8 cards in it, and then label the deck Riddles in the Dark, it ends up giving you the Bilbo avatar for your account, which is actually pretty cool. And on the one hand, I was like, man, this is really kind of convoluted. But if you're a fan of The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, like, you know that riddles are a big part of it, right? So that makes sense for people that are fans. So you know what? I don't mind this promotion. I think it's kind of cool. And it's a way for them to get a few extra cards into your account and some card styles. So like I'm here for it. It was free, right, to the players. It doesn't cost you anything but some time to solve the riddles. And they weren't super difficult. They were creative, so you had to think a little bit, but they weren't too bad. So like, yeah, again, I think if you're going to do a cross promotion with the game, go all in. And if you can find a cool thing to do that relates to it like this, I'm for it. It was kind of like with Ninja Turtles. If there was one of the maps for the Ninja Turtles in Arena where you can click on all the pizza slices and they'll disappear, which is funny. But if you keep clicking the video game, it eventually give you a game over thing, and then there's a freebie in there for you too. So I'm cool with that. Like, do the fun things that make sense. Same thing with Avatar. They had the cabbage cart, right? You click the cabbage a bunch, the cabbages explode, fall out, and then you get the cabbage pet to put on your account. So yeah, just fun little stuff like that. So I'm on board. Keep doing it, Wizards. And then I'll let you take this one because you shared this with me I didn't know about, but apparently there's some Lorcana news that people will be excited about.
Yeah, D23, which is a celebration against all things Disney, took place this past weekend, and they announced that there will be a digital Lorcana client. I don't know exactly when or even who's doing it, but that feels like, yeah, that's the thing that was probably always going to happen, even more so after they made the guy who had previously done a free digital client get rid of his and figure like that's probably that'd just be a mean thing to do if they didn't have plans to do their own. Although Disney is, their lawyers have dropped the hammer on people from time to time. But yeah, as soon as they did that, I'm thinking like, yeah, they're probably doing their own at some point, and they've confirmed it is on the way.
Yeah, interesting that didn't come with like a name of a company or a timeline or anything to announce it like their biggest year. Because I think D23 is every other year, but it's the biggest thing they do as a promotion for fans and everything. Also, since you mentioned it, I want to shout out Jim Cummings, who apparently was snubbed at D23 this year. That's becoming a story. But he's the voice of Winnie the Pooh,
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, a few different people.
Yeah, plethora of characters.
Apparently, this dude's been doing this since the 80s, and he is not in their equivalent of their Hall of Fame yet. And I'm like, what? How is this dude not in? Did he piss somebody off? Like, what happened?
Well, I think the Hall of Fame also includes people like Harrison Ford, so I feel like they'll get to him,
But bro, he's been around since the 80s. How long's he got to wait? And I also looked, apparently he has over 1,500 credits on things.
And you got to remember, they also put people like Bob Iger in there. They put Disney's Hall of Fame is ginormous.
Well, this year they also put in The Rock. I mean, all right, I guess, but like he got in before the dude who's voiced 1,500 things for you. Like, come on, man.
Well, because they got to get entertainment people to report on it. They know what they're doing.
Sure, but just add one more spot. Like, I'm not saying you don't have to put The Rock or, the Jonas Brothers in, but like, hey, let's keep a spot as a nod for people who've really helped us get here. The for real Hall of Famers. But I don't know, just something I wanted to toss, and I thought it was very interesting. and I hadn't paid
And
much
I mean,
attention.
maybe now that it's become a story, maybe they do it next year. Right? They're just waiting for people to make a huge stink about it. This
Yeah, exactly.
is
It's
what we're
like,
talking about.
I mean, it's possible they also just overlooked him. I mean, it is Disney. They might have been like, yeah, he's just a dude on the payroll, whatever. And then somebody went, oh, yeah, we probably should have had him in there, y'all. But all right, man, well, we're not doing the show. Where can people find you?
All right, you can see me on YouTube over at Age of Wagers, where I'm currently doing the 10 to 10K betting challenge, and hopefully, fingers crossed. Like right now, we're halfway there to today's $20.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find me at PowrDragn, PowrDragn. And we have a cool video I'm working on. I just did one that went over really well about was foundations good for Magic. I'm about to do one to show people Wizards' worst marketing effort. And it's a story and a product and an item people may not even know about. So keep an eye on that over on the channel and follow so you don't miss it. But wherever you're watching or listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Please remember to take care of yourselves and your family. Remember to be awesome, but most importantly, be awesome to each other.